Welcome to another video of Trend Macro Vision 1, the XDR console. I created this video for knowledge sharing and for anyone who want to have a look at what is the Vision 1 console looks like, what are the things that we can do in Vision 1 console, basically just for the knowledge sharing purposes. So you can see in the Vision 1, there is a workbench incident titled Detection Avoidance by Data Encrypted for Impact. If you refer to the MITRE attack tactic and techniques, you can see that data encrypted for impact is one of the techniques attackers use for ransomware attack. This is the reference guide for all the security analysts to understand further what are the techniques and the tactics used by the attackers. Back to here. On the right hand side, you can see the graphical representation of this incident. For these different icons, there is a specific meaning for that. If you want to understand further, you can always go to the right bottom, click on the info. This will show you all the legends and the representation of each icon. On the left, you can see the top. Trend Macro Vision 1 detected there's a spear phishing link. It is detected from the data source email sensor. Right? There is an outsider sending an email to this. This is a Visionary. Momentum is a dummy account used for demo purpose. And the receiver of this email. Together inside you can see there's a link to the Google Drive, which casually allows the attacker to send some malicious file into the patient 0, which is a user's computer, and then it will create more threats into this environment. So if you scroll down further, you can see more indications of such attack, following by the discovery phase. You can see the attacker do all this whoami command to do the IP config, discover all the environment, to check all the services, all the domain trust, DNS test, and execution of the file without parameter. Here you can see if you point to the command, there is a run 1.exe. There's a command run from here, and if you hover to the right here, you can see this is the link. This is the email title. It's sent to this computer. So if you hover to this command line, there's a number here, 7. You click on it, you show clearly what are the commands being run or being executed by the attacker. One of it is under here, you can see this is called 1.bat. So what is BAT? BAT is the extension used by the attacker to run certain commands under the batch file format. Because when the user click on the link, there are certain files being downloaded from the attacker's server, which was saved inside the endpoint. This endpoint, after it saved the command, the attacker later then they use this CSC. If you look at it, CSC actually is a C# compiler to compile into a more malicious threat and to execute into the user environment. So if you scroll down further, you can see that there is a PowerShell execution of command, and if you look at it, this is the command that is ran, okay, and you can see it's 1.bat. So further down, you can see that the attacker created this ransomware under the category called Cobalt Strike. So if you understand, Cobalt Strike is one of the Lockbit category, and inside this Lockbit category, there is a amphibian exe file which will do more harm into the environment. And if you stop at here, you can see this is under the Lockbit. There's a Stealbit malware. This Stealbit malware is to exfiltrate your data, important data, to the attacker. Okay, and further you can see there is a file, executable file, which is called the FOD helper, which is performed by the attacker to bypass the UAC to allow it to execute certain commands which requires administrator rights. And also we have this NetView. This is used by the attacker. And after that, if you look at this, the attacker passed the file into another server, which is a print server, via the lateral movement. And this is detected under here. You can see further now. Here, it was detected by the Discovery Inspector. there's a file being transferred from this machine to this print server, and it's under lateral movement. So what the attacker does is he will detect there is a print server under this customized port number. Then there's a patch which is vulnerability in this print server which never been patched. It's under this paper cut service. If you see this line, we have received 2 vulnerability reports from third party from Trend Micro saying that there is a severity security issue in this paper cut service with all these CVEs. Right? This allows the attacker to run certain commands if it's not been patched. Okay, go back to this. And if you realize further, after the attacker did all this, you can see under this print server there is a command number here. If you stop here, okay, it run this command mimik mimikast exec. This mimikast exec is a file which allows the user to perform the memory dump. See that? Mimikast is to extract all the password, whatever important data from memory. So after it discovered all this, and the final target for both the patient 0 as well as the print server, they perform another lateral movement into this important asset of the company, which is the domain controller. Why domain controller? Because domain controller have all the info about the environment, you have all the info about the user, and it can distribute more harm into all the other assets via, for example, the GPO. So I hope this gives you a high-level overview of what this SDR can do. From this graphical format, it will allows you to have understanding to point to the right, exactly to the right endpoint which have the threats, exactly on how this has been happening, and exactly on what are the techniques and the tactics being used by the attacker. Okay, I'll move on to the video number 2, which will go to the in-depth on the step-by-step on what has been happening. Hope you enjoyed this video and continue to the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.